and welcome to Ask Better Questions with Alonzo Kelly. Today's episode, we are going to have a conversation about the word trust. Trust. In a workplace setting, in a personal relationship, in a business transaction, trust is key to an optimal outcome for both parties. But what happens when that trust is broken? I'd like to start with the question, do you understand what it means when you say, I trust you? As a visual learner, I'd like for you, if you're watching this with some pen and paper, you can draw this or not, just follow along in your head. Trust is looked at, in my world, in the form of a triangle. At the top of the triangle is the word communication. On one of the bottom corners of the triangle is the word contract, and on the other corner is the word competence. Communication, contract, competence. Let's look at these individually briefly. Communication. When I say that I trust you, part of that answer is rooted in communication, and here's what we mean by that. When you and I engage in dialogue, do I believe the dialogue to be honest, truthful, transparent, and leads to mutual learning? Under the category of competence, when you and I are engaged in communication and I say that I trust you, what that means is, do I believe you have the knowledge, skills, and abilities to deliver on what it is you just said you can deliver on? On the other corner is contract. Do you do what you say you're going to do? Communication, competence, contract. So let's look at this from a real life example. I have children, I have a son, and we have a dog. When our son was younger, the dog, I felt, actually weighed more than he did. He offered to walk the dog, but I did not trust him to do it. So what does that mean exactly? Of course I love my son. Let's look at the trust triangle though. Let's look at communication. When he says, Dad, I can walk the dog, do I believe that communication to be honest, truthful, transparent, and leads to learning? I do. He's very well intentioned. Contract. Does he do what he say he's going to do? Now, taking the age factor out of this for a minute, I would say an emphatic yes. He does what he says he's going to do. Now let's look at competence. Does he have the knowledge, skills, and ability to do what he just said that he could offer to do? And at that time, the answer is no. I also said to you about a minute ago that I did not trust him to do it. It doesn't mean I do not love my son. It does not mean I question his abilities. What it means is, for this particular task at this specific time, I did not trust him to do it. You can then see what would happen then if my message was as simple as, no, son, I do not trust you to do it, without an explanation of what that means. If you think about it in the workplace, whether it's corrective action or performance evaluation or giving someone feedback about a promotion or volunteer opportunity, it is not enough to ask one another, do I trust you? Do you trust me? It's incumbent upon us as leaders to make sure we're clear on where these people that we want on our team excel. Where do I believe you excel? Where do I believe you have the greatest opportunity for learning or growth? It would be, in my opinion, pretty irresponsible to just simply say, you're not on the team because I do not trust you at this time, without explaining what that means. So that's what I wanted you to have in your head today. As you are thinking about trust, you can look at this personally. Do you trust your partner? Yes, I trust my partner. Do you trust your kids? Do you trust your teacher? You can look at this professionally. If I need a new roof and I say, trust the roofer, I never met the person. I need to believe that the communication, the competence, and the contract are at a certain level. If you're thinking about it for yourself, do you trust yourself to do something? We say that all the time. I know that some people, if we make this about food, and I can use myself for an example, I do not trust myself at buffet restaurants. The reason is because I know I fall short on the contract part. Do I do what I say I'm going to do? I walk in there saying I'm only going to eat 2 plates. That's not entirely true, but I'm honest about it. So that's what I have for you. In recap: triangle, trust, communication, competence, contract. Make sure that you're explaining this to people when you engage in conversation about trust. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of Ask Better Questions. I look forward to seeing you next time. Find full episodes of Ask Better Questions with Alonzo Kelly online at whby.com. I invite you to find me on Twitter at KLGLLC and on Facebook, Kelly Leadership Group LLC. Thanks for watching this episode. We'll see you again soon.